Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Robin and Cindy Unfiltered. Really glad to see you back here. We've got another great chat for you today. This one is on the topic of self-doubt, something I think we can all relate to. Because, by the way, self-doubt never goes away, but we're going to talk to you about managing it, what it means, and all kinds of good things around that. I'm Cindy. I'm a coach, a hypnotherapist. I'm an author of a book called More to Give, Stepping into Your New Life at Any Age. And I do a lot of talks around neuroscience and mindset. And I'm here with my colleague, Robin.
Hi, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm Robin Spence, and I'm a coach, I'm a therapist, and I'm the founder of the Boundary Club.
That's great. So, Robin, self-doubt, something that I have self-doubt sometimes. You ever have those days when you're thinking, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I think self-doubt is part of the human condition. I mean, we're not born with um, the ability to manage ourselves, And so doubt is invariably something that we all have. But what I always say, and this is a Robinism, I'm sorry to pop that in so quickly, is we never doubt the doubt. We always believe the doubt. And I think learning how to question the doubt and doubt the doubt could help us all.
Hmm. Tell us a little bit more about that. How do you question the doubt?
Well, I think it's about like self-doubt. If we think about it, refers to like lack of confidence or belief in one's ability or our judgment or our self-worth. It's a common thing we all feel. And it links back to what we were talking about last time, imposter syndrome.
Mhm.
But when we doubt the doubt, like we question it, like, is this true? Because the evidence might say something different. For example, a client I had who said, she was just unsuccessful. Her life was not going in the way that she wanted it to as far as her career was concerned. So when I asked her, I said, sorry, but I think, do you have a PhD? She says, yes. And I said, are you working for one of the top consultancies in the world? She says, yes. So I said, and would you say your career is where you'd like it to be at this moment? She says, yes. So I said, tell me a little bit about that doubt. Where's the evidence for it?
I
And when
love
she
that.
thought
Such a
about
great
it,
example.
yeah, it's interesting, right? And when she thought about it, she's like, I never questioned the things that are happening in my
Mm,
head. And we should do that more often, I think.
that is a key point, I think. And it's also something that we've talked about before as well, that our mind will just bring up these random thoughts. And we can't control that, but we can control our reaction to it. And one of those reactions can be doubting and saying, is this really the reality of things? Because what will happen is we know the brain will fixate on negative things anyway. It's hardwired to do that. And so, despite all the successes that we will have had, if something goes wrong, somebody misses a deadline, the presentation wasn't the way that they wanted, they didn't get put on the board this time around, even if they've been given assurances, look, you're a great candidate, all those sorts of things, that self-doubt can creep in. And it's like you were saying, look at the past, look at what you've done. And I like to say to clients, think of a time before when you had doubt about doing something and self-doubt. You couldn't get something done or whatever that was. Well, how did you get past that? Well, first of all, did you get past that? I should reframe that. When did you have self-doubt before and you were able to get past it? And I said, well, what did you do? And I had a client once that said, well, I had to do it. So I just got over myself and I went ahead and got done what needed to be done. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Right. So would you say that you put a barrier there, a construct that was just something in your mind, a thought that you had that you kept repeating to yourself for so long that it just spread into this doubt that you'd be able to do it? And she thought for a minute and said, yeah, I think that's the case. So then we went to what she was dealing with in the session that we were talking about this in. I said, so what's different here? Like, you've already had evidence in your life that you were able to get past this. How about maybe this is the same thing again? And I think sometimes in our role as coaches with people, just giving them that perspective, giving their mind an out oh, here's a different way of looking at it, can be so enlightening for them.
Yeah, that's so good, Cindy. And is self-doubt a habit? I think, like anything else we develop, any other behavioral thing that we develop. And sometimes I think doubting oneself becomes this habit. It becomes a place that we sit because we do it so
Mm,
often. And I think having the awareness to recognize and acknowledge the self-doubt, and identifying the triggers which take you into these patterns, I think is a really good first step towards change, right? Just recognizing that, oh, like is self-doubt my pattern? Is that my go-to? And then having that awareness around that, I think is really important. And then we've got to challenge these negative thoughts, going back to my client, like, is that true?
mhm,
And these simple questions we can ask ourselves, like questioning the validity of the self-doubt, and then we get to replace them with more rational, positive ones, right? Uh,
mhm,
and then, there's the other thing, people should seek support. Like if you're constantly doubting yourself and putting yourself down and doubting your capabilities, like you need support on that. You need a different perspective.
I think that's such an important point that you make, that you're not alone. If you have this self-doubt, you don't have to stay in that cocoon where these thoughts are swirling around and there's nowhere to go with it. You need to reach out and talk with somebody else about this. Coach, for example, just to have someone to bounce ideas off of so that you can get that perspective that you were talking about, to step back from that, to say, whoa, stop the voice in my head. I want to get off this now and just see what's going on. Because, like you were saying, when you keep repeating something to yourself, then it becomes a habit and you feel, well, this is just the way that it is. And it's not. You've said it so much to
Yeah.
yourself that it feels like a part of you, and it's not.
And it's something about, that little voice in your head, I tend to politely tell it to shut the fuck up.
I know you
Like,
do.
thank you. I hear you, but I'm still doing the thing that I doubt that I can do.
Yeah,
And I think that is where we start to gain power over our self-doubt. And it's a boundary for me. It's like we're not going to do that anymore. We're not gonna doubt our ability anymore. That's just a boundary. And I think having boundaries helps you to set goals around changing patterns of behavior.
I love
You're right
that.
with the boundaries again, sorry.
I think boundaries are one of the key things, which is why your boundary club is amazing, because people don't know what they don't know. And I think more people need to understand how important boundaries are in every aspect of their life, giving you space. So we're talking here about self-doubt and having that boundary. So I'm just not going to go there. My mind is coming up with this foolishness, to use one of your words. I'm stealing for this. I don't need to do that. And sometimes I know that when we work with our clients, we can have them reframe that. Sometimes it's a step too far for them to get to. The brain will not accept the complete opposite of what they're thinking, but you can break through a little bit. And once they say something different in their mind, that no, I can't do this at all. Well, maybe, to use one of those old NLP techniques, maybe you can't do it yet. And you have them feel, how does that feel? That's already a shift in their mind. It starts to give them some hope to go through. So any of you that are listening that are thinking, no, I can't go from standstill to 60 miles an hour, don't worry about that. Just take it step by step.
That's beautiful. And you see me nodding like the chorus. And so just to kind of wrap up, I think having that self-awareness, challenging the doubt, and then once you challenge it and you decide that, to put it into a boundary mechanism, that I'm just not going to do that anymore. And then reframing are really great tools that you can use to really empower yourself over the doubt. And, I just encourage everyone to doubt the doubt and not doubt their capabilities.
And that, my dear, is a great way to wrap up this this taping. So listen, please click like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because we've got something exciting we want to share with you that we're going to show you just at the very end of the podcast. So this is Cindy and Robin. We'll see you next time.